Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Look, man, it's like, what's that movie, man? Playing with My Emotions, right? Big Worm from Friday. Yo, that's really what's going on. Like, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are playing with our emotions, aren't they? Aren't you tired of our emotions getting played with? They play with our emotions so much that a lot of us just don't even care anymore. But we'll still watch the fight, but we're just not invested in it anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're just tired of Crawford and Spence, finger pointing, whatever the case. Crawford's come out now saying, he's gonna, tame the little lion. Then he's gonna go out there and tame the next one, and tame the next one, and tame the next one, right? Talking about Errol Spence and the Charlo brothers, man. And all that sounds good, but make the damn fight. So right now they're saying the fight could be happening in January, because they're so behind schedule on trying to cement a firm fight date, because these guys just, I don't even know anymore. But right now, it looks like it's Errol Spence is the one who's holding it up now. Like, it went from being Crawford holding it up to him accepting the short end of the stick on everything, which I felt he should have accepted anyway. I didn't think this was a 50-50 fight. But, okay, we got beyond that. Now it's supposedly Spence holding it up. Man, it is just frustrating, man. But whenever these two do break loose, man, I mean, it looks like they're going to be worth it for them at least, because their pay-per-view price point is rumored to be around $80. Okay, that's on the low end, but that's what I'm hearing and that's what I'm seeing through a lot of articles that I'm reading. But word on the street is it could be around $80. And you figure if at that $80 price point, if they do, 500,000 pay-per-view buys, which they could do that. They could do that, man. This is a big fight. A lot of people want to see it. They could get 500,000. I think that's a safe number. I think 250 to 500, but I think that 500 pay-per-view buy mark is, I think that's doable. But as far as Crawford wanting 20 million, Spence wanting 20 million, look, $80 at 500,000 pay-per-view buys, that's $40 million. Okay, so they're going to get certain guarantees. Maybe they both get guarantees, I don't know, $5 million each. And then pay-per-view on top. You figure if these guys get that, $40 million, and then they split that up, both of these guys are going to make, serious money, man. They both could get definitely beyond, 20 million plus each. And that's kind of the number they were looking for. So when you look at it like that, you can almost understand why they're just hanging around waiting to sort things out, because of the money, and at the same time, they got to do something. But I'm sure their lawyers are talking, their managers and promoters are talking to these sanctioning bodies and trying to ensure no one gets stripped and, everything else that goes on with a potential undisputed distinction bout. But when you look at it, the inactivity, Terence Crawford always looks sharp. But, I mean, you're talking about going on over a year, and coming in there against a guy like Errol Spence. Okay? And I think when you look at that, I got to give Errol Spence an advantage just as far as, not having so much ring rust. Because I don't care who you are. You can stay in the gym. But when you're out of the ring like that, all fighters say, man, they felt a little rusty. You're just going to jump into with Errol Spence. And for those of you, now I picked Terence Crawford to win the fight. I do. I think they're both the number ones at welterweight, and someone's going to get the undisputed distinction when they win. So then that person will be the undisputed, and the person who loses will still be the number one. Okay? But I picked Terence Crawford to win because I feel he fights with his eyes. And what I mean is he sees everything. And he's just an excellent counterpuncher. He has speed. He has power. He has ring generalship. He has using his legs phenomenally. And I just think Errol Spence leaves a lot of openings. You know, he pretty much ducks his head, jabs, comes behind the back left hand. He'll hook, come to the body, come to the head, get you on the ropes. He uses his elbows to pin you. It's like a pit bull or a dog. You'll watch they'll kind of get down on somebody and use their their I was gonna say their arms, but their legs, and they'll pin down whatever it is and go to work on it. And Errol Spence does that. He uses his elbow, pin you with the free arm, work, pin you here, head down to be protected, and he's working like that. So, and when he gets here, his head is in your chest, and he's looking at your feet. So when I look at your feet, I know your position. I don't have to look at you from your torso up to know where your head's at. I can look at your feet. If I see how you're standing and I know I'm in your chest, I know what I'm swinging at. That's why Errol Spence can transition from body up to head like that when he's fighting in close. See, that's like one-on-one stuff, but Errol Spence is technically sound. Just don't think you're going to be able to pin Terence Crawford on the damn ropes, okay? And for those of you who are saying, oh man, Bud's so sharp. Why? How could you say that his inactivity could be an issue? You know, a guy like Errol Spence has been out the ring for a while. Excuse me. His inactivity could be an issue too. Look, if we can't all agree on this, something's wrong. Errol Spence bounced back from that crazy car accident. He came back and looked better than before. So how can you sit here and talk about who, if there was anyone to come in the ring, to not look 100% due to inactivity, right? How can you say Errol Spence could possibly look bad in the fight? Don't even try that, because this man came back like Superman. And if he can do that, I'm sure this little 8-9 months, however months Errol Spence would have been out the ring by the time they fight, that's not going to be anything, okay? Because he didn't miss a beat. And he's healthy, looking good. The only thing that can mess up Errol Spence is him out here thinking he a playboy, thinking he's some, what's that called, a heartthrob or a sex icon or something now. He out here taking pictures with this girl, and you know, Errol Spence better stop, because that shit gonna get him in trouble with Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? Stop trying to be cute, because he's gonna get his ass hurt, knocked out in this fight. But I think as far as activity, inactivity, I don't think either one will be that much affected, but if there's anyone slightly affected, it'll be Terence Crawford. I just think Errol Spence is like Superman, man. I just don't see him, any inactivity going to cause him to come in the ring and, you know, put forth a lackluster effort. I just don't see that. But, I mean, we'll see what happens with these guys, man. You know, it's interesting. There's fights coming up. They're bubbling up a little bit more on social media. So what that tells me, when they start to bubble up on social media, that means that obviously there's some traction. Excuse me. I don't edit out yawns because I'm human. It tells me that the fight's gaining some traction. Now, we're right at the finish line. It's just a matter of these guys sorting things out. Hopefully we'll get an announcement soon. Who knows? We may get an announcement. PBC has a big fight card this weekend. Maybe we'll get an announcement then. Okay? But I'm looking forward to the fight. Can't wait to see it happen. I just really have my fingers crossed. Not for the fight to get made, for these sanctioning bodies not to strip anyone. You know, they jerked Josh Taylor, you know what I'm saying? Totally jerked him. Up, going to purse bid. Couple $100,000. You don't make the fight, give up the belt. Boom, they had to give up the belt. They're known for doing that, you know? But I just think right now, like I said, the lawyers, managers, promoters, you know, all of the smart people they're engaged and they're making sure that that doesn't happen, because this is a big money fight. It is, and let's hope it happens. But that being said, I picked Crawford to win this fight. I think he fights with eyes. I think he's intelligent. I think he always finds a way to win. The guy, what's his name? Mean Machine or whatever. Caviar whatever his last name is. I know I'm mispronouncing his name, but he did drop Crawford. But that guy's an awesome fighter. I can see why nobody wants to fight him. And he beat Jamal Charlo. They robbed him. But everyone knows he beat Jamal. But when it comes to Crawford and Spence, and Crawford beat that guy. Crawford and Spence, I just can't see. And I don't. This is why I'm going to say this, right? When Spence was fighting Ugas, Spence's ass was hurt. He was out on his feet, talking about, oh, I was going to get my mouthpiece. No, he was out on his feet. He was like Luis Ortiz and Charles Martin. When Charles Martin was kind of, which way did he go? Errol Spence got which way did he go by Ugas. Now with Terence Crawford, who's not going to be so defensive with a high guard and standing there letting you pound on him, I can't help but see Terence Crawford touch him at some point and making him, do the stinky leg. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see happening. But then again, who knows? Derek James is a smart trainer. He's even gone on record and said, we know what we're up against. Terence Crawford does everything great. So it's just as for us to crack that code. And how do you do it? You know what I'm saying? For Errol Spence, we've kind of seen a little bit of what it takes to kind of, crack that code. But Earl's offense is his work rate and his stamina is what gives him an advantage. He doesn't stop punching. He doesn't stop working. He stresses you out mentally, and then physically your body goes. That is very hard to do unless you're in shape. Errol Spence defeats guys mentally from the constant pressure. And then physically, their body shuts down. And mentally, their mind goes. Crazy. But that being said, I'm going to leave it as that. No real updates here, except right now, it looks like January 2023 looks like what it's going to be. But at this point, who knows? But I do believe that it's going to be the next fight between both of these guys. Because when you look at that, 500,000 pay-per-view buys, that's a realistic projection for these two. At $80, that's fair. $40 million, these guys aren't going to go fight somebody else for no $2-3 million. No, they're going to sort this out. And when you think about all the other sponsorship deals, endorsement deals, and whatever else, both of these guys could end up making like $30 million a piece. They can make some real money. And I hope they do. They should get all they can. But that being said, man, looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll get an announcement. I'm not too excited about much of anything except knowing they are going to fight next. But there's not really much else to say except, hey, go follow them on Twitter. You can get a little entertainment out of the BS going back and forth. That being said, y'all keep cool. I appreciate your support. Hopefully we get this fight sooner than later. Shout out to the veterans, people from all 7 continents. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. That's exciting. Y'all keep cool. Keep safe. In the breeze.